BullTV, where we're bullish on Collierville. I'm your host, David Pickler. BullTV is a monthly show that empowers, educates, and entertains while highlighting the citizens of Collierville and the Mid-South who inspire and deliver solutions for a stronger community. BullTV is presented by Pickler Companies. It's proudly produced by the students at Collierville High School. We invite you to watch our show at www.bulltv.show, thebullnetwork.com, and CHS TV 19. New episodes air on the second Sunday of every month at 3 p.m. Central Time. Well, you have a great team, and what a lot of people don't realize is that, and I believe it's correct, is that your first year as principal here was also Dr. Lilly's first year as superintendent. So you had ostensibly, possibly the two most important people in the district, all learning literally on the job in one of the most challenging times that any of us have ever faced. Well, wow. You've talked, and I think appropriately, with a lot of enthusiasm about the amazing things happening here. Collierville High School recently received the Reward School distinction from the state of Tennessee, showing and demonstrating the high levels of performance. How was this very impressive designation achieved?
It is achieved through, if I could just be blunt, teachers who know the standards, teachers who know their curriculum, teachers who know how to teach to the depth of the standard, how to motivate kids, how to engage kids, students who are willing to give themselves away to the lessons, willing to give themselves away to the learning, and to be able to trust us to lead them there. Our teachers are just amazing, the way they prepare each day for these kids. Education is unlike any other profession. And I'm just being completely honest with you, there is no time off. No. People look and they say, oh, educators get, 2-3 months off in the summer or whatever it is. There's no time off for any educator for the most part. I don't care that you saw someone at the beach enjoying time with their family. They came right back to start planning in the summertime. We have what we call professional learning communities, PLCs, where teachers are planning strategically in the summer to prepare for kids as they begin to get ready to come here. It starts with us reviewing data from the prior year when those kids tested, to be able to know your kid, the ins and outs of what their struggles are, where they are, where they achieve the highest at. It really takes you to be able to dissect every part of whether it's the lesson, whether it's the kid, their knowledge base, the kids as a whole, and ultimately how are you going to meet them where they are and get them to where they need to be. So everything about it is strategically planned to get them there. But it takes serious hiring to be able to do that. One of the things that's important to me that I brought with me, and I can't say that a lot of people participated in this before I got here, but when I do interview candidates for a teaching position, I bring teachers that are in that department with me to that interview, because I want them to understand that this new teacher that we're bringing on, just as much as it's my responsibility to make sure that they fit in, that they grow, that they understand the Collierville way of teaching, it's also your responsibility as well. And they take that responsibility very seriously. And I'm just so thankful to have teachers that are committed that way. But I feel very honored. That's how we get to be a reward school. It is truly a family affair. I mean, I didn't even begin to speak to you about, although, many people do believe that, hey, when you got a school that's a reward school, you clearly have some great teachers. Well, you know what also I have? I have great people that work in my cafeteria that make sure that my kids are fed well every single day. You know, I have secretaries in my front office that make sure that we buy the necessary things that kids help me to spend the money that we need to bring the necessary resources into the building. I have nurses that make sure that they take care of the kids when they're feeling ill. I mean, it is really a family affair, and it's strategic in the way that we do it. And I'm not saying we have the model of it, or we're the model school, or all schools are doing this, but you want to be at the point where you do what works for you and your population, your student population. And I think we're on to something. I think we're doing great things here at Collierville High.
Well, you certainly are. You mentioned that next year you're looking at, I think you said 2,938.
Probably 2,938 is what we saw so far.
And whenever Hallie Ross gives a number, we know
Yes.
that's going to be a right number.
Yes. Trust me, Hallie worked very, very hard on the scheduling to be able to get that done, especially with us just recently moving to block schedule. She has done an amazing job.
Oh, wow. So when we think about a population of that size and 230 employees, you know, you truly have your own small community, your own small town. And I want to turn the page a little bit about some unfortunate things that happen in our communities and communities across America, where you see violence, you see shootings, you see things that happen that they break our heart. What do you do to foster a safe and productive learning environment for both students and teachers, where they feel like they can really achieve those things, can be great, and also feel safe?
You know, it's unfortunate that we see our world the way that it is today. I really have to, one of the things that, not one of the things, but many times what we do is unfortunately, the way schools are today, you actually have to prep in case of an emergency if something like this happens. You want your kids to know, I mean, we literally talk to kids about strategies they need to go to in the event that we have to have a lockdown. What happens if you're stuck in the hallway when we do have a lockdown? What's important for you to do, and making sure that they understand where to go, how to keep themselves safe. You know, it's unfortunate that we are here in this space today, but you know, when we have a school shooting, a mass shooting that takes place, I often get emails from parents that state to me, "How can you ensure me that this won't happen at Collierville High School?" Well, I can't.
No.
Evil is there, and it is always working. But we also know that good is there as well. But we also know that it's even that good has to be helped out also with preparation and having a plan in order to address that. You know, we have SROs in our building. We keep our school on lock throughout the day. Our students have student IDs to help us to identify them when they are in the building. Many of them don't understand why I want them to wear IDs all the time, but I try to get them to understand that we need to make sure that we know that every student or every individual that's in this building should be in this building, especially with us having almost 2,900 kids. But those are just some of the measures that we take. I mean, we prep every year for emergency situations like this, you know. I can't give you a whole lot of details because I can't give you on camera what we really do because I don't want someone to see our plan in terms of what we do. So, but just know that when we do have events that happen in school, we offer our kids also, you know, counseling services here at the school to, I mean, because even when you think about what happened at Kroger, I mean, that's close to home. When schools have to go into lockdown for situations like that, I mean, kids, rightfully so, they're scared. Teachers are scared, you know. You want to do your very best to set them at ease. And it's important how you respond in those situations, too. And we've had some serious situations in our school before, but it's important to try to keep a level head when those events happen, and try to just get your kids to understand what's important. to make sure that we all make it back home safely.
Without question. We had Chief Lane on the show, amazingly, right after what happened at Kroger. And he emphasized so much preparation, training, being prepared. And that's exactly what you're talking about, exactly that preparation. Make sure that you are prepared. And you talk about getting the kids home safely. I've spent the last nearly 40 years of my life in the investment world, and we always talk about return on investment.
That's right.
But this is all about making sure we return the investment.
That's right.
Make sure that, because the parents are entrusting their children to us,
That's correct.
and we want to make sure that we can return that investment back to them safely. So important. In season 1, we had the honor of, I think it was actually our second episode, we had the honor of having Superintendent Gary Lilly on the show. And tell us a little bit about the relationship that you and Dr. Lilly have, and how your roles differ, and also maybe how they overlap.
Well, as you said, Dr. Lilly and I pretty much took our roles at the same time. So that very first year, it took a lot of us learning not only our roles that we're held to do, and we've done. Dr. Lilly was a superintendent before. I was a principal before. But anytime you go to a new location, you have to learn what it's like to be a superintendent in that location, or in that community base, that town, everything that goes along with it. The same thing when it comes to the high school. Yes, I was the principal of Collierville Middle, but now you're the principal of really two sets of parents that are coming together. When I say two sets, Collierville Middle and West Collierville Middle coming together. And then learning what's important at the high school level. What is it that a student needs before he or she leaves this building to be able to say they're Tennessee graduate ready and ready to move on to whatever the next level that is. So Dr. Lilly and I came together a lot at the very beginning, and it was a learning process for us both, just knowing and filling everything out in terms of what's important to Collierville, but also understanding what is my superintendent's vision for the high school, what would he like to see, and being able to bring that into fruition and making steps in order to be able to do that, whether it's hiring, whether it's buying resources, or whatever it is, just to prepare your teachers to be able to meet that vision. And so that's how it is how it was when we first came together. A lot of learning. What's very different, of course, is yes, I run the largest high school in Tennessee, but he runs a district in itself. So that includes all 10 schools right now that we have. That's all of our brick and mortar schools, and then also our CVA school as well. And everyone has a different focus in those schools. It's almost like when you think about the United States Constitution, right? Dr. Lilly and Central Office, they are the U.S. Constitution, right?
Okay.
But then you also have your state constitutions and things of that nature. So every school has its state constitution, right, or its constitution that they operate on within that building. But it has to fit within the vision of that U.S. Constitution, which is the vision of our superintendent. And what he believes should be our focus each year. That focus changes in terms of what's important and where we see, the job market heading, or anything that's coming about in education that is going to infuse it with various, resources, characteristics, or whatever it is. So he runs a major operation there, and I run one as well, just on a different size. But and so we see a lot of the very similar things when it comes to purchasing. You see a lot of that now. Again, he's responsible for purchasing and things like that for the whole entire district. I am for Collierville High School. When it comes to again, like I said, leading your people, the same types of things, but he leads in a different way in terms of leading the vision of the district, and I'm leading the vision of what he believes our vision is going to be for the district, but also what we're going to do at Collierville High to fit into that vision as well. So We do a lot of things that are similar, but of course he's leading the grander scale and the greater vision for the district.
Well, when you mentioned the state constitution, I just had this vision pop in my head of Governor Roger Jones.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I got a lot of people under me. You're going to call me governor that help me make that possible.
You talked earlier about all the amazing opportunities that are here for students at Collierville High School. So let's switch over a little bit and talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's workforce development.
Yes.
Collierville High School has developed a workforce development model and structure that has become really, I think, a model, not only for the state, but for the nation. Talk to us a little bit about your beliefs about the importance of workforce development as part of the overall structure here at Collierville High School.
Well, I mean, I can't stress it enough. For you to even start off by saying how important it is to you, you know how important it is for Collierville as a whole. Because that workforce development can look like workforce development in different avenues for different kids. First and foremost, it's important for us as a high school to know what the workforce states, what it's saying it's looking for right now. And the way we know that and the way we're able to gauge that is by forming partnerships, whether we're forming partnerships with FedEx, the University of Memphis, Southwest, TCAT Memphis. I'm missing a few right now, but all of those are different partnerships. Even when in talking with the chamber, you know, every step we make in terms of one direction or another, we are forming partnerships with different people to be able to find out exactly what the public is looking for or what the job market is looking for. And so when we find that out, we partner with these organizations in terms of having an understanding of what we need to incorporate academically for our students to be able to meet those demands. And so that's what's most important for us. You know, whether we're working with, like I said, our Chamber of Commerce, whether we're working with partners in education, all of those things are important. And Cassie Foote has done a great job with helping us with that as well. Our CTE coordinator, Mr. Brett Heinrich, who used to be an assistant principal here. He does a great job of connecting us with community members to give us a better understanding of what they're looking for, whether it's students who can go straight into the job market, and we have some students who are interested in that. We do that even in our welding program and in our nursing program. Students leave here with certifications that will allow them to go straight into the workforce, or some who take those certifications and then go into onto the university path. So it's important that we have those partnerships. We have another one of our career expos that's about to come up very recently, where we invite all of these people in to our school to actually connect with our kids. I mean, we just recently had Blue Oval City here come to speak to our kids who are in robotics, to talk about what they're looking for. I mean, keep in mind, we have the potential of having kids who have bright minds going to work for Blue Oval City that's going to create the next great thing or the next great vision when it comes to vehicles and electrical vehicles or what have you, for things that may not even be thought of right now.
That's exactly right.
Our students are going to be able to say they were on the cutting edge of developing that new technology. And students across Tennessee and throughout. But of course, I want to be first to be able to say we got a Collierville High School student that's doing that. You know, that's important. To just know that we're partnering with, you know, businesses and groups all throughout the community.
You know, it's I heard a term years ago, a comment, and it said that we are preparing students today for jobs that do not yet exist. In order to create products that haven't even been considered, in order to solve problems that we didn't realize are problems yet. And it's a pretty amazing thing when you think about the process of building lifelong learners. Because it's not just about teaching them the rote skills, especially in the world of Chat GPT and others, that it's all about helping kids prepare themselves for a world of incredible evolution.
And just to think that with so many things that are developing, that you see, you know, we know that we have bright minds in order to be able to do that here in our building. Students today have more access to things that we just never did have access to. I truly believe that we are seeing some of the brightest minds that have ever come through in terms of education. And we want to be able to help them to get on the right path in order to be able to exercise that and be able to show people what they can do and to be able to come up with those great ideas of tomorrow.
I love it. You talked about the fact that, you're now beginning to see a generation of students that you began with maybe as fifth graders,
Yes.
that this year will be graduating. And as you go forward, you're leading an entire generation, entire community of students, that will be that next generation of leaders and free thinkers, hopefully. So what emotions do you feel when you see your past students achieving success outside of the classroom as they move into adulthood?
It's it makes me so happy. I will tell you, ultimately, it is just heartwarming to know the opportunities that we provide for kids on a daily basis and to see them be able to just indulge in it. To know that we're creating not only fond memories of what CHS will be all about, but to know that we're setting out a great citizen in this world that will do unbelievable things. We send kids to just all over the U.S., outside. We send kids to Harvard. We send kids to Duke. We send kids to the University of Memphis. We send kids to TCAT. Just think about the different places that we send students. And that's Collierville. That's Collierville that's moving with them. And many of them will come back to Collierville and work in Collierville as well. Work, play, create families here in Collierville. So everything that we provide for them, and just all the opportunities that we create, it's just really unbelievable. I don't think a lot of people understand what a gem we have when it comes to Collierville High School, when it comes to our elementary schools, when it comes to our middle schools, and the support that we get from our central office, the support that we get and the vision that's set by our board. All of that just makes us awesome at what we do. We really have something special here. It's a reason why people move to Collierville. You could say that Collierville has beautiful homes and things of this nature, but I'm telling you as an educator, you build great schools and stack those schools with top-notch teachers, you're going to get people that are going to want to move to communities. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows
Collierville is what it is because we have awesome schools.
No question. Great schools are a magnet for growth.
Absolutely.
Always have been.
Absolutely.
Roger, you made a comment earlier, and I don't want it to go with that being reinforced. We talked about some of the amazing educational institutions that Collierville students are going to. Talked about Duke and other places of that nature. But you also mentioned TCAT. And I think it's so important that I think we have 20 to 24 careers that we have vocational education training. And in a world that literally 69% of the most in-demand jobs that will be created over the next 10 years will not require that traditional four-year diploma.
Correct.
The fact that you also are defining success, not just in terms of that next step academically, but also whatever path that student may take. You're helping prepare them for whatever that life opportunity is.
And even in saying that, like I said, we're going to have a career expo here. And we're going to have people here that students can actually go to talk to if they say, we're looking to hire. This is what you need to be able to come here. Students will know that there are organizations that are looking to hire right away. FedEx comes here all the time to speak to kids. And to know that, hey, what you have right now, when you graduate, will be just enough to get you to do the awesome things that we're going to be doing at FedEx, but also to know that some of these people, they pay for them to go to school when they get them there.
Exactly.
The plan is that I would hope for every kid is to be able to help them in such a way, in whatever path they're going to take, that it won't put them in a lot of debt when they're done. And that they're able to use every bit of their own resources in order to be able to make a great life for themselves and make a great career for themselves.
All right, I'm going to give you a challenge.
Yes.
I'm only going to let you have 1 hour to answer the next question. I'm kidding. Collierville schools are currently ranked the #1 best performing district in the state of Tennessee, according to Niche magazine. In your opinion, what does it take to make a school district stand out above the rest?
When you say stand out above the rest, the only thing I can tell you is what I believe we're dedicated to, and you can determine if that makes you stand out from the rest. You have to have dedication. You have to have commitment. Commitment and dedication not only from the teachers, the administrators, but all faculty, all staff members, the students, the parents. We have got to work together as a community, and that's what we do here at Collierville Schools and at Collierville High School. I feel very, very fortunate and very blessed to know that I have parents that trust me with their kids, and they do so because of the reputation that they know I have and the people that I tend to hire have, and that is dedication to kids, a dedication to greatness. I didn't say a dedication to perfection because we'll never be that.
No.
But a dedication and a commitment to do all things that are great and to put students first. It has to be student-centered. Every decision that you make has to be based in child benefit. Every decision that you make must be able to create a strong foundation for kids to be able to grow from that and become great citizens in this world.
What a wonderful vision.
Whether it's Collierville or beyond.
Fantastic vision. What has been the proudest moment or moments in your life?
Just overall, not necessarily in
Wherever.
You know, in all of the roles that I play, from the principal, you know, I was a teacher, son, the greatest role that I've played and that I continue to play in my life right now is a father. And I say that for a lot of reasons. I grew up in a house where I felt a lot of love from my mother, not necessarily having a father around. You know, when I was a kid, I don't know if all kids have goals like this, but as a kid, because I also knew that, you know, my family life situation and what my mom did encounter when she was married, I knew that I wanted to be, I ultimately wanted to become the man that I thought my mother deserved in this world. And I'm just being completely honest with you. And so as a kid, I said I wanted to be married, I want to have a big house and a good job, and I want to have kids. And I've achieved a lot of those things. I don't have kids. I just have a kid or a daughter who I'm very fortunate to have, and that relationship means absolutely everything to me. To know that I make my daughter proud, my wife proud on a daily basis, and I'm not saying this to be sappy or anything like that. Like for someone like myself, who has come from a very whether you say it's non-traditional life or whatever it is, it's the life I knew, but it just means everything to me to be a great father. And I have my mother to thank for that, for instilling in me great qualities, an awesome moral compass that I believe. I'm not the greatest to ever do it, but I just feel like the greatest role that I'll ever play is being a father.
I couldn't agree with you more. Certainly sounds like you have both your head and your heart in the right place. So now we're going to switch a little bit, and I'm going to ask you to put your counselor hat on. What would be the best career advice that you could impart to the people who are watching this show?
Well, it depends. Are you saying career advice in terms of going into education, or just career advice? Period?
Career advice in general.
Career advice in general, I would tell any student to first and foremost be able to see yourself beyond where you are right now. Know that your today will pale in comparison to your tomorrow. You have to believe that. And to know that greatness lies within you, and that you have the ability, you have the know-how, you have the intellect, the strength, the fortitude to be able to do awesome things in this world. But just know that it does not come easy. Anything that's worth having is worth working for and waiting for. And that there will be blood, sweat, and tears. It's not just, that is not cliche. I know it sounds cliche, it's not. There will be blood, sweat, and tears. But in this world, you have to have you have to be someone that's just willing to be able to stick to it, show initiative, develop a plan, work a plan, see it through. And when you get to the spot where you believe that you're where you want to be, understand that the journey is never over, that it continues to go, and that you have to be dedicated to being able to sustain that. And sometimes there will be setbacks. Sometimes things will not go your way. Sometimes you may have to start over. But just know that in this life, that is life. But you have to be willing to get back up after you fall. Whether you fall several times or just once, you have to be willing to get back up and go at it again.
Great advice. Wow. You know, you spent the last 20 years of your life, with that 1 year exception, here in Collierville. And I know that you've talked about your love for this community and your commitment to this community. Who would you say, what Colliervillian would you say has had the greatest impact on your life?
When I think professionally, the greatest Colliervillian that's had an effect on my life would probably be Mr. A. John Atkin has been an amazing mentor for me. He believed in me. Man, that's kind of hard, because now I'm about to, because the person that really also helped me cross over into leadership was Jeff Jones, who also saw it in me that I could be. And if I really want to think before that, I'd probably say I think it was my 5th year in education, Dr. Sherry Redden, who was Sherry Phillips at that time, told me, you need to go into leadership. I wasn't done teaching at that point in time. But,
I think you picked 3 amazing people, and you know, I love all 3 of them. They're amazing.
But
folks.
I would definitely have to say Mr. A.
You can never go wrong to talking with John Atkin. Let's talk a little bit about this facility, this high school. You know, here we are filming inside of this incredible facility, this beautiful building, 450,000 square feet. So, what is going to be the message that you give, Governor Roger Jones? No. What is the message that you give to the students of Collierville High School about leadership?
Well, I want them to understand that to be a great leader, to be a good leader, or whatever however you want to call it, you have to have an understanding of being able to develop a vision. Being able to sell others on that vision, but in selling others on that vision, you want to be able to get their commitment in that. You need to be able to help others understand how they fit into that vision as well, and how they can help you expand that vision, in which we become great, not I become great. That's what I think is most important. And don't get me wrong, you know, I do believe that, you know, you will benefit and you'll get your accolades at some point in time. But I want our students to understand that it's important to be able to learn how to establish what's important to you, what's that vision going to be, understand the proper time to lead and the proper time to be led. And if they understand that, I think they'll come out just fine.
Absolutely, love it. Last question. First of all, this has been amazing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I hope I didn't bore you to death.
Oh no! Listen, I could spend another hour doing this. This is great. But Roger, when you reflect on your career, hopefully many years from now, what would you hope would be your legacy?
I would hope that number one, want people to know that I cared about kids and that I put kids first. I want them to know that I gave every fiber of my being to do what was best for kids. I hope they know that my interactions with them and the plans that I put forth for them, I tried to do so with the thought that I want to, what would I do for my own child? And ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, it's hard to be able to say how people will judge you on this earth in terms of what you've done. But I think ultimately, you know, the honor or the riches or the praise that I'll get will likely be when I leave this earth. And ultimately, I want to hear, well done.
That's a great legacy.
And come on in.
Come on in. Well done. Roger, again, thank you so very much. Thank you for sharing your journey.
No, thank you for allowing me to.
This has been amazing. You know, Colliervillians, we're all so grateful for your service, your dedication. That's a word that you use a lot, and I really appreciated that. And also, we appreciate the way that you lead with such grace. And I think that's amazing. This has been a fascinating conversation, and I definitely look forward to seeing where you take Collierville High School as you go for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you.